Yo everyone, Xeon over here from Nintendo Life, and today we're here to share with you our review of Street Fighter 6 Years 1 to 2 Fighters Edition on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, this review was originally written by PJ O'Reilly for NintendoLife.com, but was reworked into this video by me. Capcom's Street Fighter V, a now incredibly good fighter, launched in a famously sorry state back in 2016, with no single-player content of note, janky multiplayer, and a roster of fighters that took an age and a lot more money up front to grow into something that felt fully complete. Almost as though it may have learned a lesson from the ensuing roasting from fans. The Japanese giant made sure that it dropped Street Fighter VI in a much more complete form in 2023. Street Fighter VI arrived with a huge and surprisingly addicting single-player adventure mode, kind of like FIFA or NBA 2K's story mode, but here you fight people in the streets. A full suite of funky new multiplayer diversions, and an arcade mode that's a step up from what preceded it. These three central modes are divided into the World Tour RPG Lite story mode. Then you have Battle Hub for those online shenanigans, and finally Fighting Grounds, which is your arcade story modes, versus, and more traditional stuff. It's immediately obvious as soon as you boot up that there's a ton of content here, and most folk will assume we'll head straight into the World Tour mode, which is a good idea. This is so much more than a throwaway offering to appease the angry solo player hordes. World Tour is a joyous celebration of everything Street Fighter, from the present day right back to its beginnings. There's an impressive city to strut around, a whole bunch of legendary fighters to find and assign as your trainer, and loads of silly missions to undertake. It's a mode that doesn't take itself too seriously either. You'll fight thugs with cardboard boxes on their heads and meet a superhero in the first 10 minutes. But it also remembers to be exciting, fun, and most importantly, educational at the same time. In terms of excitement, we're not sure we've ever had a better feeling playing solo Street Fighter than rising through the ranks, roughing it up, and eventually getting to take on bigger and better opponents in matches framed as big events. It's all incredibly pleasing. Longtime fans are sure to be impressed by how many nods to the history of this great series there are. And newcomers take note, diving headfirst into World Tour, embracing all of its wackiness and endless customization will pay big dividends down the line. You really get a great intro to everything you need to know about the game's system and characters through playing here, and alongside a deep training mode that gives you every option under the sun to analyze and refine, this is an entry that's got everything you need to become a street fighting legend. And if you really can't get the hang of light, medium, and heavy punches and kicks, there's even a modern control scheme that streamlines everything to 4 buttons. So now is a great time to get into the franchise if you've ever been tempted but are a bit resistant to learning all those complicated moves. Now, with regards to the Battle Hub, the boring menus and lobbies of old have been replaced with a big, shiny virtual arcade, where you can go hang out, chat to other fighters, challenge avatars to an avatar battle, or take a seat at an arcade cabinet to kick off a ranked or casual match. This virtual arena even has a rotating selection of classic Capcom arcade games to play too. Mighty Final Fight, anyone? Hell yeah! Multiplayer modes, which are split across the Battle Hub and the traditional Fighting Ground modes, cover everything you'd expect with regards to head-to-head ranked and practice battles. You also get loads of special event matches, extreme battles with lots of customizable aspects, the aforementioned avatar battles, and there's even an AI suite that simulates ranked fighters of various levels. We'll be honest, not all of us here at Nintendo Life Towers are that great at Street Fighter, but we've found ourselves playing quite a lot of online multiplayer since the game first released. It's just a fun time, and you can match up with folks of similar ability easy. Street Fighter VI retools the series' killer core loops by introducing drive impacts and a drive gauge. This easy-to-learn system builds and recovers as you fight and gives you access to a suite of powered-up versions of your chosen character's specials. It also allows you to perform reversals, blocks, and parries that feel coherent and satisfying to pick up and run with. There's no sweat here picking up new mechanics and combining them. Everything here feels tied together in just the right way, allowing even newbies to get into the underlying aspects that add depth to all of the high kicks and flying fireballs. Super Arts returned too, and combined with a roster of fighters that was stacked at launch and in its Years 1 to 2 Fighters Edition is even more so. You've got a great big street fighting party to get down with. Of course, most of these things are known quantities by now. The fact Street Fighter 6 has been in the wild since the summer of 2023 brings lots of benefits for Switch 2 players though. So how does it all fare on Switch 2? It fares incredibly well, actually. Thanks for asking. However, there is one big bison that some people just can't get past, and it's the fact that World Tour mode drops the action to 30 FPS. It's no better on other platforms, but we don't really mind this though, as some of us here are very, very old, and anything over 20 FPS feels like spoiling someone who played through all of Oblivion at what felt like 4 frames per second. But it's still a really big deal, let's face it. Playing in World Tour mode is impressive on the whole. The city has seen cuts to how reflective and shiny it all is, and there's more of that weird dithering effect on surfaces and edges here than in the flashy versions elsewhere. But it feels good, and it looks great overall, even on a big TV, and doubly so in portable mode. We'll even go out on a limb and say it looks slightly better than we remember it looking and performing on Xbox Series S. But there's still no getting around the fact that some people, maybe a lot of people, will nope out of 30 FPS fights all day. It's a shame, but it is at least tempered by the fact that 60 FPS is here in all other modes and the game feels incredible, especially with a Pro Controller or a fight stick, and it looks the business when playing online, in arcade, and anywhere else. We want to double back to the controller too, as we first tried playing with the Joy-Con initially and almost immediately switched out to a different controller. If you're taking things seriously, a new controller is going to be something to think on. Our time with online multiplayer has felt great so far too, fully in line with other versions, also featuring crossplay, and besides the odd loading time that seems a tad longer, everything is as it should be. It really is quite a thing to sit with a new AAA fighter like Street Fighter 6 in portable mode, with any slight graphical drawback, a much easier pill to swallow thanks to the fact that performance is so clean and crisp across the entire package. A fantastic fighter arrives day one on Nintendo Switch 2, and besides that one 30 FPS fumble with frame rate in World Tour's battles, we're good to go. Playing Street Fighter 6 handheld on this bad boy, especially with a proper pad, could well end up being our preferred way to rise up the ranks going forward. We here at Nintendo Life give Street Fighter 6 Years 1 to 2 Fighters Edition on the Nintendo Switch 2 an 8 out of 10. Be sure to let us know if you've checked out the full Street Fighter 6 experience on other consoles, on Switch 2, or maybe you've tried the free demo. Let us know. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, then why don't you take that subscribe button to the streets and then ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we put up new videos like this. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you to PJ for spending all that time with Street Fighter 6 for us. I'm Zion from Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you all next time.